I've been on a whole new vibe these days. Old school Louisville boy like Reese Gaines. I know we were cool back then, but things change. Your chick give me brain, my chicken's free range. Reporting live from the five.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another installment of the Crack Paddles podcast. It is a very big week, but we will touch on that a bit later. I am your host, Alex Crum, aka AC, alongside my soon-to-be married friend, Kevin Dong, aka
KD.
KD, it's wedding week for you, not I. Always the groomsman, never the groom. How are you feeling leading up to this weekend?
Feeling like we're in planning mode for so long, and now it's like, oh, it's happening mode. So there are still a couple of loose ends that we gotta tie up in terms of details and some things to order still, but 99% of it is done. Now we just have to experience it. And it's like, that it's for some reason it's still like, stressful or nerve-wracking a little bit. A little stress, a little nerves, a little anxiety, all of it combined. Obviously excitement as well. So it's going to be a good week.
It will be a good week. I will be in attendance. I'm very excited.
You're at a good table, okay? Like there was a lot of debates. There were 4 different drafts, maybe 5 different drafts of the seating chart, okay? And you're one of the people that actually got bounced around a million times, and you landed in a good spot. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'll say this though, like I talk about having a very limited skill set in life, but a good wedding guest is typically something that I am. So you can put me with the kids, you can put me with the grandpas, you can put me with the cousins you don't like. Put me with whoever, I'll make friends and have a good night regardless. So
there was one version when you were with the aunts and uncles and cousins,
but I would have loved
who we
that.
all like.
Okay, yeah, had to put that caveat in there. I would have been. Again, you feel free. You can move me around, or even 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. I'm just happy to be there, Kevin. So again, I'm thrilled to celebrate you guys, and also I noted that if your wedding officiant comes down with gout or something, I am more than happy to fill in because I am a licensed wedding officiant with one notch under my belt. So I'm excited.
Our wedding, as awesome as that would be for you to do that.
No. I hope nothing but health for your officiant.
He's pretty young, so I think gout. He's going to evade gout for quite a few more decades, most likely.
I hope so. I hope so. But anyway, I am thrilled for you guys, and that's going to be special this weekend. We have a lot to talk about on the pickleball side, which we'll get into. I had my first PPA tournament as a signed player, which, yeah, was fun. Overall, I would say it was a success. But before we get into that, we want to talk about a little bit of the ball drama, the ball situation on the PPA Tour. Announced about a week ago, I think. PPA released a statement that they would be going away from the Vulcan ball and switching permanently, or at least for the interim, to the lifetime LT48 ball. There's been a lot of discussion about this ball. I think the overall sentiment has been positive. I think there have been some pushback, as there always will be with change. But I think by and large, this is a good move. I've been on record sort of pleading my case as to why I think it's a good move. But yeah, I love the lifetime ball. I think it's extremely durable. I think the bounce is consistent. It's clean. You don't have as many points end with just a shank or what have you. It is fast. I'm not convinced it's faster than the Vulcan.
It for sure is faster than the Vulcan. Maybe not faster than the Dura, but it is faster than it is poppier than the Vulcan.
It's poppier. But I'll say this: I was amazed at how many like scrappy doubles points that I saw this weekend.
I think that's because it's a truer bounce. I think when you're just wailing on a Vulcan, that thing is compressing and going who knows where. But the lifetime ball, the best part of the lifetime ball is that it does not bounce strangely anywhere near at the same frequency as the Vulcan. So in terms of scrapping, yeah, the ball might be traveling faster, but if it's bouncing exactly where you think it is, it's so much easier to defend if you can get there.
Right. Like, well, that's just my experience with the Vulcan. Like, if I spin something like heavy off the line, and two people are back at the baseline, like that ball goes 1,000 different directions. Like it's not even the pace necessarily with the Vulcan, but when you spin it like that, it's so hard to sort of scrap. Like obviously the Franklin is probably the king of the scrap. But I was amazed at I was thinking that a lot of the points were going to be super short, and like we had some crazy scrap points. Zane and I. So
I feel like it's poppier, which means it's going to be faster, but the true balance means that returns get way easier. Resets get well, I guess scrapping gets easier.
I think resets are way personally. I don't know. I mean, my resets were trash. Yes, they're getting better, but
I feel like yes and no, because the lifetime ball helps people. Okay, I guess here's my take. The lifetime ball is going to expose skill gaps, and depending on the skills. Like if you're really good with the soft skills and you rely on the soft skills, it's like a fine line. It's going to be a cliff. Either your soft skills are so good that it doesn't matter that the ball is poppier and you're still going to keep everything down, or because you rely on the soft skills and it's so poppy, all of your soft skills, all your resets, all your dinks are going to start popping way up and you're going to get creamed. So I feel like it's basically once people get used to it, then you'll start seeing, okay, like pure skill is going to be a little bit more visible in terms of like the gap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, I mean, the bounce is high, right? So like, especially like, you might think that you hit a good drop and you're like halfway to the line and that thing sits up. Like I'm not just pushing that ball back to you. I'm gonna rip it. Off. Like I had great success by just teeing off on fourths. Fourths. Just that bounce in the kitchen line, good drops, but that ball sits, a foot over the line. It's like, yeah, why am I gonna play something soft?
Yeah, and here's the thing. So there were a lot of upsets in Bristol at the PPA Bristol tournament in general. A lot of them in singles, but even in doubles, right? I mean, you have Matt Wright and Jaume getting to the finals. When's the last time? Not saying that Matt Wright has not been in the finals, but it's been a hot minute, right? And I feel like people that can attack off the balance and also counter well, like if you have a heavy counter, like this ball is perfect for you because that counter is going to be even heavier. I feel like Matt Wright just right side king over there, just like countering everything, and he's got some tricky stuff off the bounce too, right? So
sure.
I don't know. I feel like it favors people that attack off the bounce and have heavy counters, and while people get used to it, who knows what's going to happen in terms of results.
Yeah. No, I think there will be. I think it's like anything else. The cream always rises. I think there's always a transition period. Yeah. Obviously, certain balls favor certain skill sets and things like that. I do think it's the most durable ball that I've ever played with, and I'm not just saying that. Lifetime doesn't pay me. Like you can play with the same ball for 3 or 4 days, like one ball, like genuinely. And I'm sure, obviously, it gets a little slower, like whatever.
I was gonna say, does it change like the Franklin does? Because a fresh Franklin is very different than like a chewed up Franklin.
No, not really. And I that is the consensus that I've heard from everyone. Okay. Like, one can, like if I'm drilling, for example, with say one person, if I drill 2 hours a day with one person, I'm using one can for the week. Like easy, like not, and I think that's sure it's like $12 for a can of balls. But like just I do think that if you somehow ran a cost analysis on it, I think it would be cheaper than the other balls just from dude, I hate if I play with the Franklin once, I'm like, I don't want to play with that hogwash ball again. You know what I'm saying? I can't even get my serve to the net.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'm happy with the change. And also I think Lifetime is a great organization. I think they obviously are not struggling from a financial standpoint, which is good for the PPA. And I think they love pickleball. They're all in on pickleball. Like I love Lifetime facilities. Every time I go to a Lifetime facility, even if I just like take a lap, I immediately feel healthier afterwards. They're incredible facilities.
Just from the essence.
Yeah, just the ambiance. Literally, I'll just walk in there like the Homer Simpson gif. Walk out, I'm healthier. The CEO and the founder is a massive pickleball fan. I have some buddies who know him pretty well, and he's obsessed with pickleball singles, which obviously is also another pro in my box. And yeah, I mean, he's basically the brains behind the $50,000 singles tournament, which I'll be playing in Atlanta, which I think is amazing. And he also thinks, from what I know, he feels the same way about it that I do, in that your casual observer who doesn't watch pickleball is much more inclined to watch singles and doubles because they don't understand, they can't process the amount of skill required that it takes to be an elite doubles player, because it doesn't translate on TV, yada, yada, yada. He feels the same way. So they're investing heavily in the singles world, which I think is awesome. And yeah.
That's so interesting, though, because I feel like the PPA, when they announced their 2026, when they announced their 2026 prize pool or prize payouts or whatever the tables are, like singles is less in every single tier than doubles. Like,
sure, well, if we're gonna have 6 or 7 lifetime singles tournaments where the winner gets $50K a year, which from what I know, that might be something that happens, right? And we're allowed.
Is that really
play
gonna? That's the plan, is to have multiple. I thought that was like a one-off.
I don't think it's gonna be a one-off. From what do I know? But I don't think it's gonna be a one-off. No. Wow. And so, okay, we still got to pay for entry fees and stuff like that, but we do get automatic entry into the main draw, and it's gonna be a pretty PPA heavy draw. So,
yeah, I was gonna say, is it technically USAP rules or is it UPA or mix and match?
I can't imagine that it would be USAP. Like I don't know how that would work.
I have a friend who lives in Atlanta, and they were saying, oh, like I might play this tournament, I might play the lifetime singles one. She's deciding between an APP and a lifetime singles tournament, and she's like, oh, like they haven't decided if they're playing USAP rules or UPA or both. So I don't really understand.
But that would only apply to like paddles, though, right?
Paddles, or even like, do you play the let on serves? Like,
yeah,
stuff like that.
I don't know. I would, considering that lifetime is now,
so closely aligned to PPA,
that I would think it would be UPA, but that's not confirmed. So
that's fair.
Anyway,
also,
love it or hate it, it's a change. I think it's good for pickleball.
Yep. Yeah. I'm one of the people that love the soft skills, so it's taking me a little bit to get used to, but fortunately I will not be playing a PPA for a couple months, most likely, but when I do, I'll have to get some extensive drilling sessions in, because the one time I played with Rachel and the lifetime ball, literally like all of my drops were just like sitting up, and she was just cranking all of the force, and I was like, oh my god, normally I can just get in, and here I'm just getting creamed.
I can see how your drops too, in particular, like your drops are super consistent, but like you put like margin for error on your drops, which is smart. But I'm
normally like, I dare you to challenge me, but when it's Rachel and it's higher than the net, I'm like, no, never mind.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we'll see how it shapes out. I love lifetime. Give me a membership, please.
Yeah.
When I'm down in Palm Beach Gardens. Well, I wanted to get into PPA Bristol here shortly. But first, I want to talk about Midwest Racquet Sports. We love Midwest Racquet Sports, a leader in the industry for over 40 years. MidwestRacketSports.com. Of course, they have everything you would ever want in the tennis world, but they are taking the full plunge into the pickleball sphere. They've got rackets, bags, paddles, shoes, hats, wristbands, arm sleeves. Everyone knows pickleball players love arm sleeves. They've got it all. And if you use code CP15, you'll get 15% off. Again, we like family business, Kev. We like blue collar, hardworking people. That is Midwest Sports, MidwestRacketSports.com. I'm sure they're having a busy week up there in Cincinnati for the ATP.
True.
We love Midwest Sports, MidwestRacketSports.com. Check it out now. Use code CP15.
There you have it.
All right.
All right, on to Bristol. Oh, go ahead.
All right, yeah, I thought you were saying something.
No, you're good.
Nope. All right, on to Bristol. Okay, PPA Bristol.
You had some upsets, but maybe not in the event that you thought you would have it.
Yeah, I'll go event by event here. Singles, I lost to Jay DeVilliers. Disappointing. I knew it was going to be a tough draw for me. Traditionally, people that give me trouble in singles are long players, meaning tall with good wingspans and good volleys. So I knew that he would be a challenge. And the reason that I knew maybe in particular he would be a challenge is because I knew that I would probably get out there and be nervous and be tight, right? There's been all this hoopla about me signing, not signing. It's been 3 months since I played a singles tournament. So despite how well I felt in practice, I beat the gold medal winner like 8 times in a row in practice the day before and the morning. Big Lucian Goins, which we'll talk about him later. But Jay's the kind of guy that if you try to rip every ball by him, it's not going to work. He anticipates well. He's long. You have to be a little bit more strategic about sort of rolling the ball and going for passes on the third or the fourth or the fifth, not just trying to hit a clean winner on the first ball. I was kind of like a bull in the china shop in the first set. Was just tight, nervous. He played well. Second game, I was up 10-7, and he just kind of scrapped it out. So, you know what? First tournament, again, in July, I played pickleball 3 times. I had a week to prepare. Feel like I'm playing the best pickleball of my life, but, you know, not close to being in competitive rhythm. So I felt like had I gotten through that one, I would have made a deep run, but I didn't, and that's pickleball. So, I still believe that I'm one of the best singles players in the world, and still think that I'll find my way to the top 5 of the game here pretty soon. But it was just a tough matchup, tough day. Jay's, and I like Jay quite a lot, to be honest. He's a super nice guy, legend of the sport. So was happy to lose to somebody that I like.
That's right. You never enjoy losing, but at least it's at least if it's someone that you like, it's better than someone that you don't like.
Sure.
But yeah, I feel like as you get more and more reps, you're gonna keep heating up, and things will happen. It's just you've been on a little bit of a singles hiatus, but it's just the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not worried about my singles results. And then I mean, it was just cool to be there and be a signed player, interacting with the other players and talking to, juniors and things like that. It was just cool. Like,
You're in the club now.
I'm in the club, man. I got my little badgeroo right here. Although funny story, like I like paid for parking the first 2 days, which I guess you don't have to do if you're a signed player, because I didn't have a lanyard. And then like my agent, who Dalton, was like, "You're an idiot, dude. Go get your lanyard and you can pay, like, you get free parking. Like, you need to quit spending money for no reason," which is something that I have a habit of doing. So on day number 3, I finally got my little lanyard here, and it was nice parking for free instead of paying for parking for no reason. Yeah, singles is tough, but it's all right. I always like to try to be upset for a day, go back, eat pizza, lay around, watch Lifetime or something, and then move forward the next day, right? I think there's no value in dwelling on a loss longer than one day. Moving on to mixed doubles, I played with Salome Davidze, and we lost a tough one. Had chances against Adam Harvey and Britt Caruso. A good doubles team, good mixed team. We were right there in both sets. Both of us are singles players. Salome does not like to play on the right, so I played on the right quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, I think it's tough to win that way. Salome's a legend, though. I'll just say, like, I respect people who just like are authentically themselves and just like don't give a hoot what anyone else thinks, and that is Salome. Like, she's one of the most accomplished players like in pickleball and singles. And she was an incredible tennis player, and she just beats to her own drum, like doesn't take crap from anybody. I find her super interesting and a super cool lady. So, we had fun out there. I missed, like, we were on a run in game 2. I think it was like 6-all, and Salome set me up with like a high backhand that I was gonna just absolutely annihilate. Mind you, Ben and Anna Lee are like watching. They're like on the fence looking for a warm-up court. And I just hammer it straight into the top of the net. And I let out one of my patented son of a nutcracker cries when I miss, a la Elf, the movie. But and then look, I mean, going into men's doubles, that was probably, of the 2 mixed in men's, I felt like Zane, Ford, and I had a better chance to like shake things up a little bit than Salome did. Even if we won, we would have played Daskew and Anna Bright. So,
you guys did some shaking.
Yeah, I mean, look, we played Anwar and Jordan Chrysostom first round, who are 2 great dudes and 2 great players. They started off very, very, very cold, which I've done many a times, and we kind of just held on in the end there. Zane is Zane, man. He's another one like Salome, who Zane just, and I'm wired in such a different way, but Zane does not care at all if you like him. In fact, I think he prefers that you don't like him. I've known him for a long time, so like I know like the softer side of Zane, like that he does not show at all anymore, right? Like he's a flamethrower from the second he's on campus to the second he's off, and it works for him, and that's his prerogative, right? but yeah, he definitely gets into people's heads. I'll say that, which is something that I don't do. But in terms of a partnership, it kind of works because like people might like assume that I'm like fiery on the court. I'm not at all. Like I talk enough off the court. So like my on-court demeanor, you see me like I'm not
Yeah.
like loud. Like you might get a come on from me like
Hmm.
once a match maybe. Like I'm not super vocal out there. I don't yell at my opponent. Like I just don't. It's just
Your
not what I.
intensity is all internal. It's not
Right,
external.
right, right.
Yeah.
Which it probably would be better off for me if it were more external and not internal.
Just to keep the
Less,
internal
yeah,
accountable.
less self-loathing and more outward positivity. But um, so we actually kind of work because like I'll miss a few shots in a row and be like, I stink, I should quit. And Zane's like, you're the hunter, you're the best driver, you have the best drive in the world. I'm like, all right, buddy, we're down 1-8, but okay. And look, moving on to the second match, against Colin Johns and James Delgado, who, I mean, look, the game has evolved, and Colin is obviously not necessarily at the top of the game anymore, but the
He
guy's a
was literally
legend.
number one at one point, by the way.
Correct. The guy's a legend. I mean, no one has played more pickleball, I think, than that guy, and has put in more hours on the court. So I have immense respect for Colin, and James as well. I mean, James, him and Brooke Buckner almost beat, who was it? I don't know, the day before, but somebody they should have beaten mixed, the top five-ish team, I think. I can't remember who it was. Um, and he just won. He was a star in Challenger. He won with the Night Owls, and he was rock solid. So, yeah, I mean, they were the 4 seed. Now, were they a legitimate 4 seed? Like, if I were rating the draw, no, but I don't care, right? You're talking
It's
to a
still
guy.
a veteran, the most veteran of veterans, paired with a hot up and comer. Like that's a dangerous team, no matter how you look at it.
Correct, correct. And so yeah, I mean, look, I've only been in like 2 or 3 main draws and doubles in my whole pickleball career because I couldn't even play doubles for like 90% of my
Oh,
pickleball tournaments that I've played in have been me only playing singles because I could only do it because of work. I couldn't get
yeah.
multiple days off. Anyway, so I had only been in a couple main draws. I never won a main draw match. So to beat, yeah, the 4 seed in a PPA, like, yeah, that was important for me just to show people that, like, all right, like, there is talent there, there is potential there, and I think I've watched the match back, and like, especially there were a couple moments at like 9-6 in the third game where like I held my own. I made dinks. I took some balls out of the air. I did things that like I practice, but in a match to do that and on that stage was just important for my psyche, you
E-
know?
Even just being gritty, because so I was watching on the YouTube live stream. There's like a PPA Stream Courts YouTube channel, and like I watched the game one, and you guys were down 8-3. You have a 40 dink. That might be an exaggeration. You had like a 15 to 20
and
dink
I hit them all.
rally.
It was all me there.
They were like, AC's terrible in the kitchen, just hit to him, and you're just out there dinking like 15, 20 dinks in a row. And then there's a speed up, you guys are scrapping, and you are doing most of the scrapping too.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you find 2 forehands and you lace one inside in just right by Colin Johns. And then right after that, the stream cuts out. And I was like, that was a big point, but they're down 8-3. And I was like, oh, gosh, tough. So I was just trying to like, I was working, so I like periodically was checking the score updates, and then I was like, "Oh my God, they won game one!" Like,
yeah, how did that happen?
And then same thing in game three. You guys were down
8-2.
in game three, 8-2 in game three, and then you guys had to be gritty and mentally claw that back. Like I think that goes a long way, and I do think to your earlier point of you and Zane maybe being good yin and yang for each other, like where you might spiral out with a neutral partner, Zane can kind of like hold you and be like, all right, hey, like let's just redirect you. You are a weapon. Like let's go back this way.
Right.
Like,
No, 100%, dude. And listen, he takes it to an extreme. We're down 280. He's like, we're winning this tournament. I'm like, okay, buddy. Sure. But so we'll see. I also think that he and I think you're going to see a lot less teams stacking off the return going forward. I think that's I think you're still going to see a lot of people. I mean, and I'm not saying I think most people still will stack, but I think you're going to see more people not unwinding because it's just the drives are so good that like, I mean, so many times I'm like, you're going to give me an open court. You're 4 feet off the line. Like, okay, good luck.
Yeah, good luck hitting
know,
a fourth shot reset
that's
instead
not
of an offensive fourth shot.
right. Right.
Yeah.
So we did that. I mean, we very rarely stacked off the return, and I thought it worked super well.
Um,
You
I
know,
do think it is one of those things where, um, like I feel like the biggest difference between 5.0 pickleball and pro level pickleball is the transition game. And for the longest time, it was like, can you just get into the kitchen for a much higher percentage of success rate than a 5.0? The pros are always going to get to the kitchen line versus a 5.0 might not be as accurate getting in. But then over the last couple of years, it's like, can you shake and bake? Can you put pressure on as you're transitioning forward? Can you crash and stuff? And I feel like that's just going to keep getting better and better with the paddles getting hotter and the balls getting poppier. So it's like, okay, like that margin of pressure in transition when you're the serving team, like that's going to force a change like that where people will have to not unwind the stack and play on their, suboptimal sides. But that's something that you have to earn. So it's like, is that going to be the new status quo for all pros, or is it only the pros that have that skill set, right? Like,
right.
and that's
Yeah, I also just
see.
too, I think it's matchup based as well. I think depends on who you're playing against, or if you're playing against Grayson Golden, you probably should not unwind the stack, right? Or a Hayworth,
Right.
or somebody
Even
like
if you're
me.
lefty righty,
Somebody like me, like you probably shouldn't, because you're just giving them an open, empty target, like to rip the ball, and you don't want to do that. I also think some of it depends on like how you return. Like I return hard and flat, so like even in singles, this hurts me sometimes because it's like I don't allow myself very much time to get in. And so that if I hit it hard and flat, like they don't even have to do much with the ball. It's hard for me to get up there, especially when I'm having to go to the other side. So,
right.
I think there's a lot to it. I just think you're going to see more and more people thinking about that anyway, because they're getting burned on the if they're getting burned on the unwind over and over and over again. It's like, all right, you got to change something.
Do you think that's going to happen in both gender doubles and mixed, or mostly gender doubles?
Yeah, mostly gender doubles.
Okay, I can see it happening in mixed.
It could. Yeah. I mean, again, I think like, for me, like I am much better on the left. Like I'm more comfortable dinking on the left, but like I'm actually, trying to enjoy the right a little bit. I think over time as pickleball evolves, like I think it will be less and less like, I think you're gonna have to be good on both sides, put it that way. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that just being like, all right, I can only play this side is gonna go very far going forward. I just don't. I think you're gonna have to be able to play offense on both wings. I think
And
that's just how it's gonna go.
just be able to give people a different look, right?
Right, 100%.
If you don't like, if someone's losing a cross court dink battle, are you really gonna just let them do that for 11 points in a row? Like,
Right.
or if someone's getting eaten alive by count or by speed ups straight ahead of them, are you gonna lead that person straight ahead of the person that's destroying them the entire match? Like,
Right.
I mean, maybe if the other options are worse, but it is nice to have that flexibility.
Yeah, and even like, when I play the right side, like, depending on who I'm playing with, like if I take my backhand in the middle, like, because they're so used to seeing that being a forehand, like hit middle, like when I have such a high success rate when I go inside in on the backhand, like if I get a backhand in the middle and I pull it cross to the backhand, like people don't know what to do with that ball because
When you're
it's
on the
so
right side.
awkward when I'm on the right.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
if I can rip one low, like a cross body to the backhand, like that ball doesn't come back a lot of the times because no one's used to seeing that angle of the ball coming this way. Like it's
with
just,
a two-y, yeah.
with the two-hander, exactly. It's so rare, so it's like I don't know. I think going forward, just changing looks and things like that. So anyway, I was super happy about it. Like if I would have went down there and went over, I would, look, I'm going to Vegas in 2 weeks. Like that's the beauty of this whole thing. For me in that regard, maybe not so good for my pocketbook, but that's all right.
But you're good for your competitive rhythm.
Correct, right? So like and just knowing like, all right, I got a week and a half, 2 weeks to practice, and then I'll be back like ready to go. It thrills me. I'm so excited about it. So I'll have another chance, and singles, I know that that's going to come, but to see some progress in doubles means a lot to me. So, but maybe let me move on here. Maybe my biggest win of the weekend came yesterday on semifinal Saturday. So let me just say, I've known John Lucian Goins. There's a lot of like misconceptions out there about the Luch. Me and his mother is a sweet, I want to say Latvian. I could be wrong about this, but they're Latvian, I think. She's this sweet little Eastern European woman. She comes with him to every tournament. I've known Lucian for like a year and a half, maybe longer than that. And like, he's just the nicest kid in the world. He's super bright. He's a chess phenom, by the way.
Let's
I don't
go.
want to, yeah, exactly. I don't even want to tell you that. He's just the nicest kid. He calls the line super fair. He's respectful to everyone. Like, he's quiet out there. He's never a jerk. And like the contrast of that to some of the younger players and especially like on the junior scene, like the contrast from him to them is like so stark that it's just impossible not to root for that guy. Anyway, he and I warmed up each other like and played singles all week. Like when I got in on Wednesday, we played singles. I think I beat him 3-1. We warmed up the following morning. I beat him 3-0. And so I had my hotel through Friday night and was like gonna go hang out Saturday, do some stuff with the documentary crew. Anyway, so Lucian asked me if I would warm him up. I of course said yes. And then we talked like, well, we know Lee Waters is in Alshon's booth. Like let me step into the arena against Lee Waters. I'll coach you up, Lucian, against Alshon. And I'll be darned if my boy didn't go out there and beat Christian Alshon and then goes on to win the gold medal today. He didn't need my help today. I did all I could do. Now, look, I take almost no credit for that, but I take a tiny sliver because, like, having a calming mind, having someone like who's watching the match objectively, like, certainly I think helps, especially when you got Mama Waters on the other side. So, do I think I'm a better coach than Lee Waters? Absolutely not. Do I think I'm undefeated against Lee Waters? That's just a fact.
That is a fact. Gotta look at the facts.
So, and I'll also say this, like you see so much parity in singles, right? Because a lot of guys, myself included at this juncture, can go like this, right? Like Hunter, Ben, Fed, like you see they lose games all the time. Like it's hard to beat those guys for sure, but no one's floor in singles is higher than Christian Alshon's. In my opinion, not even close. If you look at least this year, if you look at the singles tournaments this year, Alshon does not lose to qualifiers. Alshon does not lose to people that he shouldn't lose to. Everyone who beats Christian Alshon beats Christian Alshon. Like, I talk about how, like if you're going to build a basketball player, you build LeBron James. If you're going to build a quarterback, you build Josh Allen. If you're going to build a pickleball player from a physical standpoint, you're building Christian Alshon. Like, the guy is about 6'3". He covers the court so well. He doesn't make mistakes. He's like mentally pretty darn strong out there. So like I was proud of Lucian because like I think in my opinion, Alshon is the hardest person to beat on the tour in singles.
Or is there like a one or two adjustments that you're allowed to share with the class on what you
Sure.
told
I
them?
mean, Alshon's he burned him like 6 or 7 times on the inside out forehand, and we just had to get away from that spot. Like, sure, if you hit the ball to this tiny sliver of court that you can hit it to where like he has to play a backhand, sure, and he did that quite a few times, especially in the first game, but. Towards the latter half of game one, I mean, he was just getting, blitzed on the same shot over and over and over again. Alshon can just roll that ball across and crash or do whatever. So yeah, our biggest adjustments were changing the return spot, and then mixing up the serve. Alshon got in a fantastic rhythm off the serve. John was serving a little bit shorter. I'm like, dude, throwing a lob serve, like junk it up. Change your spot. Like he's in rhythm right now. He's not even giving you a chance because he's putting these returns within a foot of the baseline. And then making sure that you're making him volley, right? Like margin for error. Like people will miss volleys. Like if you keep the ball low over the net in singles, they'll miss it. The problem with trying to rip a clean pass is when you do that, and honestly, especially with this ball, that ball will rise. If Christian Alshon gets a forehand here or a backhand here, it's not coming back. If he has to play one in there, he's a little tight, he might miss it. If he has to play one in here a little tight, he might miss it. So we try to pick bigger targets, change the return spot, and the kid took it from there. He painted lines towards the end of the match. I was super proud of him. And again, Coach AC 1-0 as a coach.
It's gotta be a good feeling. And that's like the last thing you did before you left Bristol, right?
Yeah, I left, and I told the player Dylan Seeger and the Proton guys were all there. I told him beforehand. I was like, and they were like, Coach AC, want to know, baby? I'm like,
Yeah.
I was pumped about it. It's fun to share in the successes of others when they're good people, right? Like it's easy for me to like be happy for others to do well when they're genuine, kind people. Like
Dude,
I was just as pumped for little Lucian as I was when we beat Colin and James. So if not more so. So
it's funny because pickleball is one of those, just like tennis or a lot of other sports. It's like at the end of a tournament, only one person or team wins every event. So everybody else ends their week on a loss. And it's like that's a lot. Usually that's a terrible feeling. It's like, oh, well, like I hate losing. And the last thing I did was lose. Like it's not a fun way to leave a city. But yeah, like even though you weren't physically hitting the shots, like you're helping coach, and it just changes your vibe of the trip significantly. Because
for sure,
like Wade and I in Newport, we lost to Kyle Kazuda and Patrick Kafka, and then ended up coaching them because they asked us to. And like, to be honest, like we're not like super best friends with them or anything, but we've always been cordial with each other, and they're also the super nice, genuine guys. And we're like, hey, if you're asking us to coach you, like, sure, like why not? And then all of a sudden, Wade and I gave them 2 or 3 tips each, and like they came back and upset Will Howells and Jack Monroe. And me and Wade were like, wow, we were so pissed about our day like 2 hours ago, and now we're feeling great. And it was just like, wow, I can't believe like that.
Yeah, well, especially too, like, and again, like when those are 2 massive upsets. If you parlayed Goins over Alshon and those 2 over Howells and Monroe, I mean, those odds would be very, very crazy. So
the house would be losing a lot of money.
Yes, they would. So yeah, man, Casey and AC and KD, look, I'm teaching some pickleball this week, so if you ever want KD and AC to hop on your sideline, we're happy to do it.
Yeah, true.
We're happy to do it. So anyway, wrapping up, I mean, look, I had a blast. I mean, this is what I love to do. I love traveling. Everybody there is super friendly. Like, again, I don't walk around these tournaments any type of way. Like, I introduce myself to everyone. I try to be cordial and kind to everyone. Like, that's just the way that I am. Like, I'm not.
Well, I don't know. The scouting report was you blew off Rachel Rohrbacher after you had all these great upsets against Fed and Zane. It was like, oh, all of a sudden Rachel tries to talk to you and you're too cool for school. But I don't know. So
yeah, all right. So allegedly in Atlanta, Rohrbacher was like, hey, Alex, like congrats or something. I don't know. You're close with Rachel. You practice with her. I know that. She obviously knows you and I are friendly. And whatever. And allegedly she came up to me, introduced herself, and I just blew her off completely. Didn't acknowledge her. I doubt this ever happened. Anyway, I did see her like almost immediately after I lost to Jay, and I was upset, and I was like, hey, Rachel, I just lost first round, so I'll give you the time of the day now. So no, and she got the joke and the reference. So we had a lovely chat. She's a lovely gal, obviously incredible player. We talked about how she's very sad that she's not going to be at your wedding this weekend, but life happens. It is what it is. Rohrbacher, I'm sorry I blew you off that one time. I'm not so sure it played out that way, but
hey, I'd rather. Oh, good.
No, like I said, by and large, I honestly haven't really had anyone be like a mega jerk to me on the PPA tour or the APA tour, but. Everyone's been cool to me, and I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. So I can't wait for Vegas.
Yeah. Since my wedding is this weekend, I'd rather Rachel be out there grinding out some dubs in Major League Pickleball playoffs rather than sitting at my wedding. So no, seriously, it's just scheduled. That didn't line up, but yeah, that the playoffs are way more important. For her, at least.
Well, lucky for you. Yeah, I mean, you're a pickleball nerd, so for you, that you're like, yeah, of course. Your average person may not see it that way, but you're entrenched in this space, so I'm glad you have a good perspective on it all, Katie. But anyway, yeah, wrapping up. Got in last night. What else? Saw Weapons today. Didn't love it, but that's neither here nor there. Any odds and ends with you? Anything new? I mean, I know you got the wedding this week. Then you'll be, probably coming down from that, and then ultimately getting ready for APP Chicago. Anything else in your pickleball sphere, Kev, that you want to mention?
No, wedding prep, tourney. So wedding prep followed by tourney prep for APP Chicago at the end of the month. So I'm actually in a little bit of a paddle crisis at the moment. I've been using the YOLO 4. Been testing out some other odds and ends and different paddles, and interested in others. Like mostly just because I'm a paddle nerd. And
Why don't we ever, Kevin? Have you ever played with one of these guys?
No, I'd love to.
I'll give you this
I
one.
actually genuinely would love to try one. You said it's super, super gritty, and I've played against it. It's definitely hot, so would love to try it. But yeah, I was trying like the 11.624 Alpha Pro Power, trying like, I really want to try the Gearbox GX2 Power. I've been trying the Holbrook Arma, which to be honest, I had minimal expectations based on like YouTube reviewers, but it's been blowing those expectations out of the water. It hits harder than YOLO 4. The only issue is like, can you control it? So it's kind of always, it's like the stereotypical offsetting balance. Like you get more pop, but you also lose some stability. Literally, Allie and I were drilling, and I sped one up at her. She countered. I countered it back and hit her in the shoulder before either of us moved an inch. And we were like, "Whoa! Like what just happened?" Like,
yeah.
So it's like, is it worth the sacrifice of some other stuff? And it's just fun to like try all those different paddles. To be honest, like
sure. Yeah. Well, you know what I'm rocking with, but try.
Hey, next time you come up, bring an extra for me.
I'll bring you one, brother. This is best in the biz, man. I'd love to have you on the team. Get you a KD signature.
You never know.
Let me ask you this one thing before we bounce here. I always had a problem with like watching paddle reviewers. Not to sound like a hardo here, but I'm like, brother, we don't hit the ball the same. Why am I going to listen to one word that you say about this paddle? Because the way that we swing and the way that we play is not the same. Like you reviewing a paddle, okay, like you've won medals on both the PPA and the APP Tour.
Challenger.
God.
I mean, Challengers, PPA Challenger is not the same as PPA.
Yeah, what is it? It's not called the Challenger Tour. It's called the PPA Challenger Tour.
All right, sure.
Anyway, whatever, Kevin. But like, yeah, when some dude who's like a 4.0 is like, this paddle doesn't do this, I'm like, well, does it really not, brother? Like, I don't know. I just, that's my problem, is that like really no pros do paddle reviews because they all have paddle obligations, and it's like I just don't get into it because like I've watched videos and then like gone out and hit with the paddle and been like, yeah, completely different experience for me.
So yes, it is a little bit. You always have to take it with a grain of salt, because either they're sponsored by that paddle company and it's like, okay, obviously they're not going to say anything negative, or two, they're still to some extent going to be trying to sell you a paddle because they get commission, right?
All my Proton paddles is fair.
Yeah.
They all went down.
At some point, they're still being a salesman, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt. Even if I'm promoting something, you have to take it with a grain of salt, like, right? Like, but at the same time, like, my goal is, unless I'm like a full-time pro, there's no reason for me to dive into a long-term sponsorship with a paddle company. So I'm kind of like, I'd rather keep it flexible, working tournament by tournament, or like a 1 to 2 month short-term contract at a time.
Sure.
Because I just want to compete with whatever I like the most.
Sure. Sure. That makes sense.
I'm just hoping that like translates to the audience. And it's not that whatever I'm playing with is necessarily the absolute best on the market. It's just what I like the most. And that's kind of like what I'm communicating. But anyway.
All right. Well, Kev, is that about it? I think that's about it, man. I'm going to be practicing. I'm going to be practicing all week, drilling this week. I'm actually drilling with your brother 6 a.m. on Friday.
I can't wait to hear about it.
I might actually go up to the ATP in Cincy that day, or maybe on Thursday. I haven't figured out. I'd like to make it up there one day. I do love that tournament, but we'll see. Other than that, just getting ready for your wedding, Brother Bear. So
sounds good. Let's set up a drill session next week.
Yeah, we will do that. I'll make sure I get up there. Might be a solo pod for me next week. I'm probably going to do a Kevin Dong wedding recap. The way that I know how. So Thank you guys for joining us. We'll check back in with you next week. We have a fun interview with Zane Navratil coming out soon. So thrilled for you guys to hear that. Other than that, thanks for the support. Keep chugging with us, baby. Keep chugging. Anything else, KD?
We're good. Thank you guys.
Ciao.
Bye. So that's not a little bored. That sucks. Life's tough. Last thing I need is more stuff. It's true. I need a little more time with you and more rose with my lunch. One piece of mind.